Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining today. My name is Lily, and I'm a parent advocate with Links Resource Center. Today, we're going to talk about formal dispute resolution, what it means, the different options available, and how these processes can help protect your child's rights when disagreements arise with the school. Our goal today is to give you clear information so that you feel empowered to make the best choices for your child. Before diving into dispute resolution, let's start with the two key rights that are at the foundation of special education: FAPE and LRE. FAPE stands for Free Appropriate Public Education. This means special education and related services are provided at no cost to the families. They must be designed to meet your child's unique needs and help them make meaningful progress. It is not just academics, it also includes related services like speech therapy, occupational therapy, and counseling. LRE stands for Least Restrictive Environment. This means children with disabilities should learn with their peers without disabilities as much as possible. Placement should always begin in the general education classroom with supports, unless the child's needs require something different. Services must be based on each child's needs, not what is easiest for the school. These two principles, FAPE and LRE, are often the center of disputes. Understanding them is the key to knowing when to take action. When disagreements happen, parents have different options for resolving them. The two main formal paths are due process, which is a formal legal process like a courtroom hearing, where disagreements are resolved by an impartial hearing officer. The other option is a state complaint, which is a written complaint filed with the state education agency when there's been a violation of IDEA, such as missed services or failure to follow timelines. Later, we'll talk about the stay put rule, which protects your child's placement while a dispute is being resolved. Each of these paths serves a different purpose, and today we'll break them down step by step. Due process is typically used for the most serious disputes, such as disagreements about whether the school has properly identified your child as needing special education, evaluation concerns, like whether the school assessed your child correctly and thoroughly, placement issues, when parents feel the school isn't offering the least restrictive environment or an appropriate setting, services or IEP concerns, such as when the parent believes the IEP doesn't provide FAPE or the school isn't following the IEP as written. Because this process is formal and legal, it is usually best for complex disputes. This is the procedure for filing a due process complaint. It starts with a written complaint. A parent submits a signed, written complaint describing the violation of the IDEA requirements, including facts and details about the issue. So the submission will be filed with the LEA, so that is the school district, or directly with the SEA, which is the state education agency. The SEA must receive a copy if filed locally to say with the district. So you need to submit a complaint either with the school district or the state education agency. And if you submit it to the school district, you also need to send it to the state education agency. After that, there's an investigation. So the SEA reviews the complaint, investigates, and gives both the parent and the school a chance to respond with information or evidence. Then there is a resolution, so the SEA must issue a written decision including findings and corrective actions within 60 days of receiving the complaint. So the due process is structured like this and it can take time, but it ensures that both sides can present evidence and have their case reviewed by a neutral hearing officer. Before a hearing can happen, the law requires a resolution meeting. This meeting must take place within 15 days of the school receiving the due process complaint. Parents, key IEP team members, and a district representative with decision-making power must attend. Attorneys can also attend if a parent chooses to bring one. The goal of this meeting is to try to resolve the disagreement before going to the hearing. If the parties reach an agreement, it is written, signed, and legally binding. Either side has 3 business days to cancel it. If the issue isn't resolved, the process moves forward into a due process hearing. A due process hearing is much like a courtroom trial. It's a formal legal proceeding overseen by an impartial hearing officer. Both parents and the school can present evidence, bring witnesses, cross-examine, and have attorneys or advocates represent them. The hearing officer issues a written, legally binding decision usually within 45 days after the case moves forward. If either party disagrees with the decision, they can appeal to state or federal court. This makes due process one of the most formal dispute resolution options available. Another option is filing a state complaint. Parents or anyone can submit a signed written complaint to the state education agency describing how the school violated IDEA requirements. The state education agency reviews records, investigates, interviews staff and parents, and allows both sides to submit evidence. Within 60 days, the state education agency issues a written decision including findings and any corrective actions the school must take. State complaints are generally best used for issues like missed services or procedural violations rather than complex disputes about placements or evaluations. The process for filing a state complaint is pretty straightforward. You write a complaint describing the IDA violation, including details and evidence, submit to the state education agency, either by mail, email, or their online portal. The school may respond with a proposed resolution. The SEA, the state education agency, investigates. This can include reviewing documents, interviewing parents or staff, or visiting the school. This process is less formal than due process and does not require a hearing. After the investigation, the SEA issues a written decision within 60 days. If a violation is found, corrective action is required. Examples might include making up missed services, staff training, or changes to district policy. The goal is to correct violations and bring the district into compliance with IDEA. If parents are still not satisfied, they can also pursue mediation or due process after the state complaint decision. The stay put rule is a protection for students during disputes. It means that your child remains in their current educational placement while a due process complaint, mediation, or state complaint are being resolved. This protects your child from disruptions in their education while disagreements are being worked out. Stay put continues until both sides agree on a new placement or a final decision is made by the hearing officer or court. Here is a quick comparison. Due process must be filed within 2 years, requires a resolution meeting, then a decision within 45 days. It is best for serious, complex legal disputes. The state complaint must be resolved within 60 days and is best for missed services or policy violations. Each process has its place, and the right choice depends on the type of disagreement. Here are a few practical tips for navigating disputes. Keep thorough records, IEPs, emails, communication logs. Pay close attention to deadlines, like the 2-year limit for due process and the 60-day timeline for state complaints. Seek support from parent training and information centers, like links. Choose the dispute resolution option that best fits your situation. Let's look at some examples. If the school refuses to evaluate your child, you might file for due process. If your child missed occupational therapy sessions, a state complaint might be the right path for you. If you disagree with the proposed placement, the stay put provision keeps your child where they are until the dispute is resolved. These scenarios show how different tools can be applied to real life situations. Let's wrap up today's training with the key points to remember. First, under IDEA, your child has the right to FAPE, a free appropriate public education, and to be educated in the LRE, the least restrictive environment. These are the foundation of all special education rights. When disagreements come up, you have options. If the issue is serious, like whether your child qualifies for services or where they'll go to school, you can file a due process complaint, which may lead to a legal hearing. If the issue is more about services not being delivered or the school not following the rules, you can file a state complaint. This is usually less formal and must be resolved by your state within 60 days. While these processes play out, your child is protected under stay put. That means they remain in their current placement until the decision is made, ensuring stability. The big takeaway is parents have choices. You don't have to accept the first answer from your school. Use the process that fits your situation, and don't be afraid to reach out to your parent center or state education agency for help. Thank you for joining us today. If you'd like more information, you can contact us at the links website. You are also invited to subscribe to our YouTube channel, join our Facebook group for parents in Matsu, and connect with us for future trainings and resources. We're here to support you in advocating for your child.